So you're thinking about egg freezing. It's a big step. And when you start looking into it, that list of medications, well, it can feel like you're trying to learn a whole new language. But don't you worry, we're going to break it all down, make it super clear, and hopefully a lot less intimidating.
What we're going to do here is walk through the entire journey from start to finish. We'll go in order, step by step, so you can see exactly how each medication plays its own special and really crucial role. Ready? Let's dive in.
Okay, first things first. Before we get into the how, all the different meds and what they do, let's make sure we're totally clear on the why. Once you get the main goal of egg freezing, everything else just clicks into place. I like to think of it like tending a garden. See, your body is amazing, but it usually just picks one single egg to mature each month. With egg freezing, the idea is to use medications to help a whole group of eggs grow and mature all at once. You get a bigger, better harvest for the future. So that brings us to phase 1. The very first step is all about coordination. In our garden, this is like prepping the soil, making sure all the seeds are ready to sprout at the exact same time. You want a nice, uniform bloom, right? So how do we get that synchronization? Well, doctors usually use one of two main tools for the job, either oral contraceptive pills, OCPs, or a medication called Lupron. Let's take a quick look at what each one does. First up, the pill. Honestly, its role here is mostly about logistics. It just helps line up the start of your cycle with your schedule or the clinic schedule. And the really important thing to know is that using them doesn't change the final result at all. It's just a planning tool.
Now, Lupron is a pretty cool medication because it can wear a couple of different hats. It can be used to get all the follicles on the same page so they grow together, or it can be used to temporarily hit the pause button on your ovaries to make sure no eggs get released too soon. It's all about control.
All right, our garden is prepped. Now it's time for the main event, the growth phase. This is where we add that special fertilizer to encourage as many of those potential eggs as possible to grow strong and healthy, all at the same time. And that fertilizer is a class of medications called gonadotropins. They're basically made of the very same hormones your body uses. That's FSH, follicle-stimulating hormone, and sometimes LH, luteinizing hormone. These are the engines that really get those follicles growing. You're probably going to hear a few common brand names from your doctor, like Filistim or Gonal F, which are mostly FSH, or Menopur, which has a mix of both FSH and LH. Just seeing the names can make it all feel a little more familiar.
So, how long are we talking about for this growth phase? Typically, you're looking at daily injections for about 9 to 12 days. But, and this is a big but, this is totally tailored to you. Your doctor is going to be monitoring you super closely with ultrasounds and blood tests to get the timing just right. So as all these follicles are growing, a new challenge pops up. We have to make sure they don't get ahead of themselves and release the eggs before we're ready. Back in our garden, this is like protecting the flower buds to make sure they don't open too early.
And this is where a second medication, called an antagonist, joins the party. About 4 to 6 days after you start the gonadotropins, you'll add another daily shot, something like Cetrotide or Ganirelix. It's like having one foot on the gas to encourage growth and one foot on the brake to prevent ovulation. You need both.
And now, the final medication. We've grown the follicles, we've kept them from ovulating early. The very last step is to give them one final signal that says, okay, it's time. This is the signal in our garden that tells us it's the absolute perfect moment to harvest.
That final signal is the trigger shot. Most of the time, it's a medication called HCG. And what it does is pretty brilliant. It basically mimics the natural surge of LH that your body produces right before ovulation to put the final maturing touches on the egg. Now, the timing of this shot is everything. The egg retrieval procedure itself is scheduled for a super specific window. We're talking 34 to 36 hours after that injection. This makes sure the eggs are perfectly mature but haven't been released yet. It's just a remarkable bit of precision. Okay, so we've walked through the whole process. But before we wrap up, there is one more thing that's so important to understand. This is not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Your journey, your cycle, is going to be tailored specifically to you. And this is just so key. You might talk to a friend who went through it, and her experience might sound totally different from what your doctor is planning. And that is perfectly normal. The exact medications you use depend on a lot of things, including your own doctor's training and experience. At the end of the day, your medication plan is yours and yours alone.
It's personalized, based on how your body responds, your doctor's expertise, and maybe things learned from past cycles. But the goal is always the same. A safe cycle that gives you a good number of mature eggs for your future.
By understanding all this, you're not just a passenger on this journey anymore. You're an informed, active partner in your own healthcare, and that's incredibly powerful. So now you know the what and the why, and you're ready to have that conversation.